All right, all of a sudden, there's this little tidbit of Doctor Who, and no, it doesn't involve the TV show, but rather the Big Finish audio adventures, which, for a while anyway, were far more popular than the TV show. But lately, the stories and plots just, well, yeah, that's always the problem. So, latest little bit of news is that the Fourth Doctor, they've done several of these, and now he'll get a new companion. Well, wait a minute, how can that happen? We know his timeline and all that sort of stuff. Well, just a minute here. If they do this right, that actually can work within the Doctor Who narrative, especially for the Fourth Doctor. So basically, they have announced they're going to introduce this new character played by actress Eleanor Crooks. This character will be Naomi Cross, and she's from UNIT, and she'll be joining the Doctor and Harry. Now, Harry, he traveled with the Doctor and Sarah, and as soon as that came to an end, he'd had enough. So I guess technically the Doctor could have run into him again, and then you have him along for the ride. And but of course, he's not played by Ian Marter, who sadly passed away quite a while ago. There is this new actor, and I haven't heard, I don't know if they've done any or released any yet of this new guy playing the character, but if you can do the voice, and they've had other actors that can come pretty close to the voices of previous Doctors even, then well, why not? So the actor is Chris Naylor. He'll be playing Harry Sullivan. So the thing of this is, and obviously the immediate criticism here with the Naomi Cross character being a black woman, that, oh, well, she's a token. Yeah, the BBC just pretty much admits that's their agenda. So, and it's kind of, it's unfair to the actress here with that, but that's the atmosphere they've created, and that's how they think. And for the idea of going to shoehorn this in for the Fourth Doctor's stories is for the fact that there were no black companions for Doctor Who in the original series. A black woman did succeed the Brigadier. Oh, yeah, that's right. But I guess that was too brief for them, and that's not enough, or what have you. But nevertheless, this is to repair that horrible damage and whatnot, and, you know. But the problem is that the stories and plots suffer, and if they're not given care, it ruins the point of all of this. And all you care about, of course, is editorially, it's fantastic. Well, so she's obviously going to be this feisty woman who works for a unit and looking for adventure, and the Doctor comes along, and Harry's just going to be the guy who probably just gets kicked in the nuts, along with the Doctor too. That's the way it is with the storytelling. That'll probably be a box they have to check off for that. And then hopefully, if you can get through that, you might actually get a story that's interesting and some concepts and stuff that's of Doctor Who's stories. But anyway, back to the point. How could this work if you ignore all the politically correct virtue signaling crap? How does this character work or fit in? Well, I've discussed this in previous videos about there is a particular gap. I don't know that it was intentional, but between the Deadly Assassin and the Face of Evil. Now, the Deadly Assassin was the first adventure after the Doctor left Sarah behind, and he went back to Gallifrey to deal with the Master and all that. Then he was back in the TARDIS and took off. Then suddenly he arrives on the planet where he meets Leela and all that stuff. But within the story, the Face of Evil is his own face, is this giant sculpture of his face carved out on the rock side. And then he realizes, oh, I've been here before, and I reprogrammed the computer of Zoannon and all that stuff. But when did this happen? It's not depicted in his story. So that's a story that probably, I don't know if Big Finish has already done this, that's something to look back at. The Big Finish stories they've had both Romanas in the story. They've had Leela in stories with him. Unfortunately, of course, couldn't do Sarah Jane stories because Elizabeth Sladen had passed away. And boy, geez, I really wish they could have gotten those done. But, well, you know. So, no, I don't know that there's been any. Maybe there's been a few where he's on his own and there's someone new and all that. But to actually have a new companion was possible in this gap of time here in between those stories. And I don't know if they would think of this, that would be one of the adventures. He goes and Naomi is with him on that one, and he comes across that spaceship, and he thinks his solution is when he reprograms their computer, and little does he know, he creates a multiple personality problem for Zoannon and all that stuff. And there you go. And you have to make it to where it seems like a complete and concluding adventure, and yet there's this little thing, and you would understand that it connects eventually to Face of Evil. If someone could construct that. But this is an era of unknown tales of the Fourth Doctor, and so you could weave it in there that's when it happened. The idea that he comes across Harry Sullivan at some point is certainly possible, and then Unit's back in the fold of things. And lo and behold, he has a few more Unit adventures that we didn't know about, and that sort of thing. You could do that. Hopefully they won't try to write in crappy Timeless Child nonsense into it, but see, there's the problem. You can't even have your old Doctors, except for the original stories, of course, without someone messing with it. But if beyond that it's just the superficial surface nonsense that satisfies the PC lords, then perhaps, just perhaps, you can have some pretty cool Fourth Doctor adventures with a new companion. And it could, if they do it right and set it in that timeline there, in between those stories, and even address the Zoannon story, then that would be really cool, and could work. But I know it's not going to happen, is it? Zoannon who? Well, one can hope, huh? Yeah. So anyway, so there you go. There's my little take on this little bit of news about Doctor Who. Alright, thank you for watching and listening. Say, why not like and subscribe, and check out that link description below. That'll take you to my mini stores and have plenty of goodies for you. You know, hats, mugs, stickers, posters, all that goody stuff. Plus, you can head over to IndiePlanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book Night Night. Oh, yeah. Plus, you can also catch my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, over at RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on my channel at BitChute. That's the Mr Nailsin channel on BitChute.com.